There is sweat make its way behind my neck. Holy sh. Sean Evans, if I get food poisoning from this, I am gonna hunt you down for making me eat Popeyes for the first time in my life. Sorry guys, that was Sean Evans. And if you don't know who he is, where have you been? He's only the host of the wildly popular show on YouTube called Hot Ones, in which celebrities try to answer questions while their mouth repeatedly gets set on fire by spicy chicken wings. This show is so successful that publicists of major celebrities will try to get their clients onto the show, even if they can't handle spicy foods. I wish I had a publicist because I would love to be on this show. And when you have a popular brand, the money train never stops because Hot Ones has been doing these limited edition food collabs with the likes of Shake Shack, Panda Express, and most recently, Popeyes Louisiana Chicken. They also have a few packaged food collaborations, of which I've acquired here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't think any of these are actually gonna deliver on their promise, because when it comes to major American commercial corporations, when they say things are spicy, they never deliver. Short of you going to the fresh produce aisle and picking up an actual physical chili pepper, none of these commercial items is gonna satisfy you. Why? Because this is America and we love suing people. There is literally someone right now that's been trying to sue this Thai restaurant for the last 4 years because they claimed that the food was so spicy that it destroyed their throat. I'm not saying that the spicy food didn't cause major discomfort in their throat. However, when they ordered that dish and asked if it could be made mild, the chef said, no, they're not made to order. They're already pre-seasoned, and even then, they still ordered it anyways. Listen here, when you go to an Indian or an Asian restaurant and the waiter walks up to you and asks, hey, what kind of spice level would you like from 1 to 5? You're gonna have to define whether you want an American 1 to 5 or an Asian 1 to 5. Because if you don't, there's 2 things that can possibly happen to you. 1, you're either gonna be pooping fire for an entire week, or number 2, you're gonna be getting something the equivalent of a raw onion as your top level of spice. I'm sure this customer is thinking to themselves that if they win this lawsuit, they're gonna get some generational wealth out of the deal. Well, that's probably not gonna happen because the first lawyer already dipped out of the case, which is not a good sign. But let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say they do win that generational wealth from the lawsuit. There's a good chance that they're gonna lose the entire amount of that cash within the first year because this is America and we don't teach anybody about financial literacy around here. Whoa, okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little overheated and I haven't even tasted any of these spicy foods yet. So let's change that right now. Let's start off nice and easy. Here we have the Pringles Verde flavor. I haven't bought Pringles in many, many years, probably decades. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. That's what they used to say anyways.
Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
You definitely smell that like salsa verde flavor. Spice-wise, it's super subtle. I taste a little bit of a tingle on the tip of my tongue, as well as the back roof of my mouth. It's not a lot. It's kind of got like a vinegar type of sting to it. So if I had to give it anything, it's like a 0.25. Flavor-wise, it's exactly what you would expect. You get that nice potato flavor from the Pringles and that tomatillo flavor where it's tangy, sour, and slightly sweet. It tastes exactly what I would expect. It's actually not that bad. I will give it the middle of the road 5. Moving on to the next flavor, we have the Pringles Rojo flavor. Not entirely sure what Rojo is, but we are about to find out. Spice, I'm not experiencing anything, no tingle on the tongue, no nothing. I'm gonna give this a 0.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Flavor-wise, it has like a very subtle smoky flavor, and I'm thinking that's just coming from the paprika. I wouldn't say this is the kind of chip flavor I go for. Like I like something more pungent like sour cream and onion that really just kicks you. This one does not kick you at all. So I'm gonna give this basically about a 3. In the last Pringle, we have the Barbacoa flavor, and who does not like some Barbacoa? Spice level again, I feel no sensations in my mouth. This is a 0. There's a subtle lime flavor in there, but I also taste kind of like a garlic and an onion, something that you normally would kind of marinate or season the meat with. Flavor-wise, it's actually not that bad. I still say the Verde is the better flavor for my palate. Again, that one just kicks. This one doesn't kick as much, but it's better than the Rojo, so I'm gonna give this a 4. Let's move to something a little more filling. Let's start with the sweet chili cup ramen. It's not the spiciest one. As far as the smell goes, I'm smelling some sort of like a sourness to it. Even with that extra chili oil packet that they say is optional, I do not experience any sort of spice at all. There's no tingling on the tongue, nothing. I'm gonna have to give this a 0. Flavor-wise, you do taste the chili in terms of the flavor. Yeah, there's a little sweetness to it, also a little sourness. The flavor vaguely reminds me of that sweet chili sauce that you'll usually get at a Vietnamese restaurant. Even so, the broth has pretty much no color to it and the flavor is rather thin, so I'm gonna have to give this about a 3. The noodles are air-fried noodles, so they are healthier for you. They got a really slippery texture and they break fairly easily. I'm gonna give this a 5. Next, we have the garlic chili. This is their medium spice, so hopefully we feel something. Right off the bat, there's a lot more color in the broth and there is a stronger smell coming from it. There is a bit of chili oil dancing on top of the broth here. Not a whole lot, but I do experience a slight tingle, so I'm gonna give the spice level a 1. As far as the flavor goes, while this broth's flavor tastes just a little bit thicker than the sweet chili, not by much, it still has this watery consistency to it in terms of its thickness of flavor. So it's still relatively thin, but does taste better than the sweet chili. So I'm gonna give this a 4. Last of the cup ramens is their smoky chili flavor. This is the hottest one that they have. Let's determine that. For this being their spiciest one, I feel basically the same level of tingle from the garlic chili. So this is basically a 1. Flavor profile wise, I don't really taste a smoky element, rather I just kind of taste sourness. And it's a very light sourness as well, but that's what I taste. I don't know, I feel like the flavor is basically a 3.5. It's not something I'd write home about. Moving on to the next item, we have Snack Club, which I've never heard of, and this is their Tangy Chili Snack Mix. This is the mild flavor, so it's probably not gonna do all that much as far as the spice department goes. I like that it's a Ziploc bag, that's always nice. That is a very tangy smell coming from here. Let's take a bite. Not spicy at all. I don't feel anything in my mouth. So spice level, I would give this a 0. Flavor-wise, it has that tanginess. It's got that vinegar, that chili flavor. I'd have to say it almost kind of reminds me of Tabasco sauce, that kind of tanginess. Your experience of the overall flavor is going to depend on whether you're eating the pretzel, the peanut, or the sesame sticks. I feel like the peanut has the better like overall flavor profile because you get that creaminess of the peanut after you chew into it. And then you get the vinegar, you get the chili. All that melding together tastes pretty nice. I'm not the biggest fan of vinegar tasting snacks, so I'm gonna give the flavor profile about a 3. The next Snack Club item we have is the Smoky Sweet. The bottle they show up front is the Verde sauce, so let's see if it tastes kind of like the Pringles. Considering this is their medium heat snacks, no real spice experience here, so this is gonna be another 0 for me. They say it's smoky sweet. I guess I might taste a little bit of that smoke, but really I'm tasting essentially the tomatillo. I think that's more or less what I'm tasting. It's very subtle though, because I'm primarily just tasting what the pretzels taste like, the peanuts taste like. You're gonna have to like eat a lot to like slowly build up that flavor in your mouth. I think overall the flavor is just very, very thin. I would just give this maybe about 2.5. And the last one from Snack Club is their Hot Habanero Snack Mix. Now habaneros is one of those peppers that will affect me. So this is their medium to hot level. Nope, there is no tingling sensation whatsoever. Another 0 on the spice. Flavor-wise, it's sweet. It's got that chili flavor. It kind of reminds me of like Cajun trail mix, like a sweeter and sour version of a Cajun trail mix. But the balance of that type of flavor with the snacks that are in here, it doesn't seem to balance out that well. It's honestly not that tasty to me. I don't really feel like eating any more of this. I'm gonna have to give this about a 1.5. Moving to the big bowl of instant ramen, here we have the Hot Ones Taiwanese Tingly Pepper. Now, I'm Taiwanese, and my dad makes a mean Taiwanese beef noodle soup. This is it's giving me a little bit of that flavor, slightly different. This is their mild spice level, so let's see what it brings. Ooh, oh yeah. I am actually surprised. If this is their mild flavor, you immediately get that tingling spice sensation on the back of your throat. It is exactly how I would expect for a Taiwanese noodle soup. It is perfect. I give this about a 4. It's very well balanced, very enjoyable, and then when you take into consideration the flavor, yeah, this is exactly what you would taste if you have really good Taiwanese beef noodle soup. It is a rich broth filled with umami. If I had like just beef slices in here, it would be perfect. The fact that they nailed this flavor does not surprise me because A-Sha, the company that makes this ramen, they are a Taiwanese company. So if they fucked up the whole Taiwanese beef noodle soup thing, I would have so many words for them. But they nailed it. I'm giving the flavor level a solid 8. The noodles are still the air-dried noodles, maybe slightly thicker than the cup version. Doesn't have a lot of chew, it's just very slippery. I kind of wish it did have a little bit of chew, but otherwise it does pick up the broth very well. I'm still gonna give it a nice solid 5. The next ramen bowl, we have the Sizzling chili garlic. I'm actually excited about this considering the Taiwanese one tasted so good. This is interesting. So this is considered their medium level of heat, but it does not kick you the same amount as the milder level of the Taiwanese one. It's really odd. Like I do feel a very subtle tingle on my tongue. So if I had to give this anything, it's like a 1 or a 1.5, somewhere around there. Flavor-wise, it reminds me of the milder version of the Taiwanese beef noodle soup, the ones that are not spicy. So you get a lot of just like the natural flavor of the beef that has been marinating in that stew for quite a while, including like the fattiness. Even though this is vegan, as it states on the front of the package, but it still gives me that same feeling, like there's a fattiness to it that I'm tasting. There's also like a freshness in here, kind of like when you eat pho and there's cilantro in there, you can taste that. I'm not saying that that's what it's in here, but I do taste a freshness inside this ramen. The flavor is still quite good. I'd say the Taiwanese beats it out just by a little bit, so I'm gonna give this a 7. And the last ramen bowl we have is the fiery Tonkotsu. This is rated as the hottest ramen bowl they have, so let's hope it delivers. Spice-wise, I feel it. It coats your tongue, doesn't necessarily hit the top of your mouth. I'm gonna give this a 5. When I think of Tonkotsu, I think of like a creamy, thick broth. Obviously, I don't think you can really achieve that in an instant ramen bowl. That being said, it's got a really nice meaty flavor, umami. I do kind of wish that this tonkotsu is a little bit more creamy in terms of thickness, because otherwise the spice is just cutting right through all that meat flavor. If this were more balanced out, I would give it a much higher score, but otherwise as it sits, I'm gonna give this a 6.5. Do you have like that Hot Ones combo bundle? All right, we're back home now, and here we are with the Popeyes Hot Ones bundle. We have the Sizzling Sriracha dippers, we have the Smokin Rojo sandwich, as well as the Darin dab wings. This whole thing was $16.99. Not necessarily a lot of food for $16.99, but here we go. Let's start off with the Sriracha dippers. I want to kind of try this on its own just to see what the chicken even tastes like without the Sriracha sauce. So from this first bite, the batter has not a lot of crunch at all. In fact, there's not a lot of seasoning either. I basically taste oil. The chicken is a little bit on the dry side. As far as these chicken dippers, I really don't taste any sort of seasoning at all in the batter. So I'm guessing they want to leave it all to the sauce, which is this pickled garlic Sriracha hot sauce, heat level of 3 out of 10. So let's give it a try. On the smell, it kind of smells a little bit like Tabasco. So the sauce definitely adds the flavor to it. Basically, yeah, it just has that pickled flavor. Really does remind me of Tabasco, but just a different flavor profile. I can't say I really necessarily taste like a Sriracha type flavor. Heat-wise, the tingling is dancing on the very tip of my tongue, but it's, again, very, very subtle. I would have to give this basically a 1 for me. As far as how it all plays together as a combination, it's very low tier. I wouldn't say this is very special at all. I give the flavor overall maybe like a 2.5. Next up, let's try the Rojo sandwich. Spice-wise, I really don't feel a whole lot. It's kind of like at restaurants when they give you a spicy barbecue sauce, it's really not that spicy. Like it's more sweet than anything. I have to say maybe this is also a 1. Flavor-wise, I feel this is a much more full profile, but that's kind of being generous because as far as the batter and the chicken goes, there's just no flavor. There's no flavor in the batter, there's no flavor in the chicken. It's just kind of there for texture. But you got the pickles, you got the somewhat spicy-ish sweet sauce, then you got the taste of the bread. All of that working together gives you the illusion that there's more going on. But when you're comparing it to just these very tasteless chicken dippers with the Sriracha sauce, this is a pretty low bar to beat. Would I specifically go just to buy this sandwich again? Probably not. Moving on, we got the Darin Dab wings. So let's give the wings just a taste on its own. I don't taste as much oil from this breading, and once you get down to the center towards the bone, the meat is actually a little bit on the juicy side. I wouldn't say it's super juicy, but you start to get at least the chicken flavor. Again, there's really no seasoning in the batter that I can detect. Maybe just a little bit of salt, but again, I'm guessing they want the whole Last Dab Apollo ranch sauce to do all the talking. Unfortunately, my Popeyes location was out of the Last Dab ranch for whatever reason, so I made my own by mixing the Last Dab sauce packet with some ranch at a 1-to-1 ratio. Let's make sure we get a really good dip of this sauce. Okay. You feel that spice. That spice is coming in. I know this is not the official Last Dab ranch that they have, but okay. My pores are starting to, they are leaking right now. There is a slow moving numbness and tingling going through my mouth very slowly. I want to say it's like vinegar based, but it is staying on your tongue. I didn't feel it like burning down towards my throat or in the stomach. It's very much just right on your palate. Wow. This hot sauce might actually be legit. I can handle it. If I had to give a rating for my concoction, this is probably an 8. If I had to guess, the official one is probably gonna be closer to my heat rating of a 5, because I'm gonna imagine that their Last Dab ranch is gonna be much more ranch heavy than a straight 1-to-1 Last Dab Apollo and ranch. So I'm getting hot. Like, I mean, yeah, you saw how much I took. Okay, hot ones, I see you. You're here. Okay, it's been like another 10 minutes now, and I think this Last Dab ranch mix that I made is finally out of my system. Like, I'm actually speechless. This Last Dab sauce, they say it's 11 out of 10. I kind of believe it. Yeah, I think this is an actual packet of the actual hot sauce. So, okay, they went there. They actually gave you the real deal. In true Hot Ones fashion, I think we're gonna have to Last Dab everything, including the ramens. Here's a dab on the chicken dippers. It is a slow riser. Taste in the beginning, nothing. And then it slowly makes its way through your palate. My gosh. I think my body's just heating up again. Definitely taste that vinegar. Here we go on the wings. I feel like once you get past the initial hit, it's not really hitting that much anymore. Like I still feel the tingleness, but I think my body's accustomed to it now. It's not building. If anything, it's starting to like fade out much faster. That or just because my body is now perpetually like heated, so now I don't feel it as much. All right, quite a few dabs on the Smokin' Rojo sandwich. Let's go. Oh. Okay. Yep, feeling that. There is sweat starting to make its way behind my neck. That's where I'm sweating from. Okay. Yep. We're here. We're finally here. I am getting hot. There's some tears coming out of my eyes, a little bit. That hot sauce is real. It's actually real. Whew. It is really, really... Nose is starting to run. The back of my mouth is all tingling up. I feel like I'm sweating on the backside of my neck. Okay, I think the sauce itself, if I had to rate the sauce itself, that is definitely a 10 for me. I know they say 11 out of 10, but we're only going to 10 on my scale. That's a 10. If people have been wondering up until this point why I haven't given anything a 10, it's because I'm waiting for some sort of spice to give me this experience where literally it is like, it's literally from here to here and back there. This is where the sweat is, where I'm feeling it. I don't feel it on my body. My body is dry, but I'm feeling it everything here. There's like sweat coming literally off my face. You can probably see it. Holy smokes. Okay. Again, my spice level tolerance is above average. So this is a 10 for me. This is what I'm expecting. Wow. Wow. Okay, so kudos to Popeyes for actually giving you the actual sauce. Holy shit. I need to blow my nose. For those of you that have a much higher spice tolerance than me, you'll probably say like, oh, this is nothing. And I salute you. If I had to rate the flavor of the Apollo sauce, I feel like the flavor is a 5. And that's a personal opinion. I don't like the vinegar style of hot sauces. It always tastes weird to me. I want something that has more flavor than just sour vinegar. This is definitely gonna hurt on the way out, I'm sure of it. I am still sweating. This is probably gonna take like 30 minutes for it to get out of my system. Wow.
A few moments later.
All right, this sweet chili basically had 0 spice, so let's see what the last dab is gonna do to this broth and flavor. Okay, obviously a little bit watered down, but it immediately coats your tongue. I can feel the spice, but because of the broth, it's gonna kind of taper it down a little bit, but I would give the spice experience a 5. Flavor-wise, I don't know if it really enhances anything because now I don't taste a sweet chili anymore. I just taste the last dab and that's it. I guess if anything, it's gonna add more heat, but you're basically just getting a watered down, maybe a slightly sweet version of the Apollo last dab sauce. Moving on to the garlic chili with a healthy dose of dab. Basically at this point, I think the spice level across the board is probably gonna be about a 5. You really taste that coatingness on your tongue and it kind of just lingers there. Flavor-wise, I feel like the garlic and the last dab kind of have a little bit of a better marriage together. I don't necessarily only taste the last dab Apollo sauce, I also taste just a little bit of this broth. I'd say it enhances the flavor a little bit, from a 4, maybe just up to about a 5. Last one up is a smoky chili, and even though the broth does taper the last dab Apollo, I am still sweating. It's actually making me sweat, even though my mouth is not necessarily on fire. So remember how I said that this one tasted more sour? I think the sourness actually cuts into the last dab a little bit because I'm not experiencing it on my palate as much as before. So I would say it probably takes it down to about maybe about a 3, because your lips are still going to experience the tingle, but your tongue not so much. Flavor-wise, because there's already vinegar inside the last dab, I think you're basically just tasting sour on sour. So I wouldn't really give this flavor all that much more. I'm actually kind of pissed off that I'm about to basically ruin this Taiwanese ramen bowl because it tastes perfectly fine on its own. This lab dab. is not required. Like, ugh. The last dab with its vinegar taste is just not the right thing to be mixing into this awesome flavor. Does it turn up the heat? Yeah, it sure does. It takes the original heat up a few levels, and the more you eat, the worse it's gonna get. So it's probably like a 6.5 to 7, somewhere around there. Flavor is just not the right combination. So I'll say again, the last dab, not required for this Taiwanese bowl of ramen from Hot Ones. And now we move on to the sizzling garlic last dab. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I take a little break in between each one just so my palate can reset before I taste the last dab and all this stuff. And I kid you not, just thinking about it, I already can feel my face starting to warm up, and I haven't even tasted anything yet. Again, it just automatically makes my pores want to start pushing out water. It's crazy. Oh, again, that vinegar taste mixing in everything, it just doesn't taste good. Like, that's what you're gonna hear me say probably for everything else. And yeah, it brings up the heat. It's gonna bring it up to basically like a 6.5 for this one. Does not taste good. You should not last dab everything, guys. And here we have the last dab and the fiery tonkotsu. Lord help me when this video is done. Oh. I feel like my tongue can't taste the last dab anymore. My body tastes it. Not my tongue, my body tastes it. It's basically kicks it up to like a 7 on the spice level. Flavor, absolute dog shit. Oh, God.
20 minutes later.
Moving on to the final and soon-to-be rarest Hot Ones item, this is their Ragu collaboration. The first Ragu we're gonna try is their fiery garlic sauce. This is tomato-based, it's a red sauce. It's got a pretty good smell coming off of it. Okay. Spice level-wise, it does not try to kill you, rather it just lets you know it's there, and it fades away very nicely, it's very comfortable. In terms of what you're gonna feel, you're just gonna feel that tingleness in the back of your tongue, and it doesn't glaze over your entire mouth. So overall, it's a great experience. I'm gonna give this a 2. As far as flavor goes, you're gonna get all that nice tomato flavor, but it's gonna give you this really good kick. And you definitely taste the garlic in there. And then when you add in the spice flavor, it's just overall a really good spicy tomato sauce. I'm gonna give the flavor of this a solid 7.5. Honestly, I should probably make some spicy meatballs with this sauce. Moving on to the next Ragu sauce, we have their Chipotle Blaze. This one's in the middle of the pack in terms of their spice level. I really enjoyed the fiery garlic, so I'm assuming this one's gonna kick it up a notch. Spice experience, it does kick it up a little bit, not by much. The experience you're gonna get is that it coats your entire tongue rather than just kind of stinging one spot. I give it a 2.25. It's just a minor kick over the fiery garlic. In terms of the flavor though, the flavor has a sweetness to it versus the fiery garlic that had a savoriness to it. It's still a very full flavor, like obviously you still taste the tomatoes. I will say there's also a slight smokiness to it as well, which really enhances the overall experience. It's equally as enjoyable as the fiery garlic. I'm gonna give this a 7.5. The last flavor they have is their Chile Inferno. This is apparently based off of their Last Dab Apollo sauce. Considering that Last Dab Apollo sauce packet wrecked me with the Popeyes, I'm curious just how much of that flavor is gonna be present in this Ragu. Oh yeah. Oh, it's there. It's there. Oh man. That is crazy that they would give you 2 sauces that don't kick that much, and then the last sauce will definitely get you. I would say you feel the exact same sensations as the Last Dab Apollo. The Ragu does not cut the flavor at all. It's gonna keep building, especially the more you eat. This is definitely a 10 on the spice. It's coating my entire mouth. It's numbing and stinging everything. I'm sweating. My pores are leaking again, so I'm sweating. I'm heating up internally. The back of my neck, same thing. The exact same thing. Oh, geez. As far as the flavor goes, oh. As far as the flavor goes, we're basically getting a little saving grace in that there is some tomato flavor in there. But the Apollo pepper does have its own distinct flavor, and you taste it. That pepper taste is in there too. Again, I'm above average when it comes to spice, but this is the type where we are getting into territory where I feel like I'm not gonna enjoy myself all that much. I think I'm starting to tear up too. Flavor as a whole sauce, I wouldn't say it's like bad. You just gotta get ready for all this. But, oh, it's like burning. Oh, it's stinging the back of my throat now. Back of my neck is clammy. Flavor-wise, oh, trying to get the word out. Flavor-wise, I'm gonna give this basically a 5. There's flavor. The Apollo pepper does have its own flavor too. I think it could be maybe a little bit on the sweeter side. I think that would do kind of well, but I don't think this is a sauce that I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just use it all the time. Whoa, Bill, what are you doing here? That's Bill's with an S. Anyways, I ran into the mailman outside. Thought I'd grab your mail for you. Oh, you shouldn't have. Wait, what? $400 for electricity? Well, you do turn on the lights in this house. I have like 4 light bulbs in this house. $600 for water? Laundry's a luxury. I do like 6 loads a month. How do you expect me to pay this, huh? Maybe tell them about your private Discord server membership and the merch store?
10 seconds later.
All right, guys, so that is the entire Hot Ones gauntlet. If you're wondering why I didn't last dab the other 2 Ragu sauces, it's because that's basically what the last Ragu is for you to taste all of this. I think it's basically just gonna make it taste like the last dab. I can't even talk. I'm still, my nose is leaking everywhere. I am still on fire. Oh my gosh. So with the last dab coursing through my veins and still flaming my mouth, I have to say, out of all the Hot Ones products, I really enjoyed the Pringles Verde. Now that's kind of cheating a little bit because I don't feel like Hot Ones really had their stamp of flavor, but it's just an enjoyable chip. So that one I liked. Snack Club, none of them was all that great. The Popeyes chicken, really just the, what is it, the saucy Rojo, whatever, the sandwich, the chicken sandwich Rojo. That one was good just because of the overall flavor palette. And if you put some last dab on there, you'll definitely get some more flavor. Their small cup of ramen is no good. There's just no flavor, no spice, but their big bowls, the Taiwanese one I really loved, and the other 2 are also quite good in their own right. So I would say if you want some a little bit spicier noodles that have really good flavor, the bowl of ramen is where you want to be. The one thing I'm really sad about for you guys is the Ragu, because that's a limited edition. They're not making any more. The first 2, the fiery garlic and the blazing chipotle, those are really, really good flavors. And if you want to experience some last dab without actually getting the bottle of sauce, that last Ragu does exactly the same thing. So you can still find some of these on eBay. Just note that the expiration date is February of 2026. So you only have basically a few more months of where you can get these and experience the awesome flavors. I really hope Hot Ones brings that collaboration back because in my opinion, out of all the shelf life foods that they've had a collaboration with, the Ragu one is by far the tastiest and deserves to be just permanently around. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go basically shit fire now. Oh God.